and made it. Get so like a spaceship. I swear my life is amazing. Blowing money, no hesitation. Up, downs, no basic. I know these be hating, but that's what made me feel like.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the New York Giants. It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Play action from Miller. Now Watson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. A shotgun snap for Watson. He finds Coleman. And now running right through it. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A big gain of 38 there on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. You got a young quarterback. You know, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Giants will get it now at the 20. Now the first running back drafted this year, it's Saquon Barkley. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Leopard!
On second down, here's Barkley. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
Nice job there defensively on third down. Not only did they string the play out, but they didn't allow any room for a cutback. Really well organized on the defensive side.
Here's Lawlessone. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, is his big performance in the NFC title game, and that's his first catch of the Super Bowl.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Detroit!
They'll fake the handoff. Now Lawlessone. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They'll run. This is Jonathan Stewart. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go now.
On second down, here's Lawlessone. Looking for his receiver, sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. So the first interception of his career under center, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
It has to. And I know he feels like the world is just tumbling down at this moment, but there's got to be some veteran somewhere, some mentor that's going to tell him, hang in there, my man. Plenty more to come. Keep firing.
A first down carry now for Miller. And able to push his way forward here for a good little game. Clock running, under a minute to go in a scoreless first quarter.
Come back, come back.
Here's Watson now on second down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was looking to get it to his running back, Lamar Miller, and it's 3rd and 5.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They come up now, 3rd and 5. False. Is Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 37, 30, past the 20. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have them set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put out.
One thing rookies need to learn at this level, and quick, make a cut, be decisive, and go. Because in college, you could dance around and wait for a hole to open because you're probably a better athlete than most of the guys on the field, but not on the NFL level.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
They'll come out in the pistol. Here's Barkley. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Giants are in for 6. Santos with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Santos out now. He'll kick it away. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
That's a good explosive run right there on the draw play. And in order for it to be successful, you've got to have some good faking going on and people having a nice little time clock in their head to understand how it all knits together. An offensive line really showing a pass set that they're going to pass block, maybe to draw in those defensive linemen, have them come upfield, and then get past them, hand the ball off to the running back, and oftentimes he bypasses the guys headed for the quarterback, thinking they're going to get a sack, and gets himself into the secondary. And in this case, he picked up really nice yardage.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Richmond.
Throwing again is Watson. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
Watson on 1st down. Over the middle, that's caught by QT. 7 yards on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
From the 50, it's Watson. And this will complete to Will Fuller. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Watson off play action. being chased out left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting at 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now. The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Back 22.
Out of the gun, Watson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Kareem Martin in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. Kaimi Fairbairn now to attempt the Texan field goal. This from 54 yards away. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this score will stay right where it is.
Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
And you remember pre-draft, there's a lot of speculation that the Giants should look for their future quarterback at number 2 with a great possibility. Remember, Sam Darnold from USC was still on the board, but they passed on him to take this runner, Saquon Barkley. And this is exactly why. They think he can extend the life of Eli Manning's career and give them 1,000-yard seasons year after year.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard season since 2012. Ahmad Bradshaw did it then.
Detroit! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
And they'll try the air now with Lawlessone. And it's brought in by Eric Decker. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Right there!
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Instead of a 3rd and 4, now they have to manage a 3rd and 9 after the delay of game.
Detroit!
It's Lawlessone off play action. He's going to look deep down, and he's caught at the 10. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try and run forward Barkley. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Another shot from the 9 on 2nd and goal.
Watch it now, Barney!
Here's Lawlessone. And that one's going to be over everybody in the back of the end zone. It's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 3rd down. A shotgun snap to Lawlessone. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will score. Touchdown, Giants. Kyle Lawlessone with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Giants add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing again. Watson escaping the pressure right. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. The intended target was Corey Coleman. 3rd down here.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Richmond. Hey, back 22.
From the gun, here's Watson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this will be down just on the other side of midfield. And the Giants ready to come out now. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Lawletta. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. The 4-time All-Pro, J.J. Watt. And it'll be a 2nd and long. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. A final shot before the break for Lawletta. Over the middle to Beckham. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So we come upon halftime here with the visiting Giants out on top. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. It's a short kick taken near the 18. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now a play fake, and it's Lawletta. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
The Giants on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll fake it. Now Lawletta. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
Come back, 22. Back, 22.
On 1st down, it's Watson. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. Dalvin Tomlinson able to swap him from that defensive tackle spot for a loss of 5. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From his goal line here, Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Well, they were obviously backed up. Had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it. And
yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise him and catch him off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Lawletta to throw. It's caught. Beckham. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Lawlessone. Over the man right side is Ingram. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. On 4th down, Lawlessone. It's caught. Shepard. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. Lawlessone, he'll look to throw. Snap it. And the ball is knocked out. And the Texans scoop it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it. But I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. On 1st down, Watson. He's going to let this one go deep. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Play action for Miller. Now Watson. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
Because they have, you're right, they have had no room to breathe. The Texans on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. To the air yet again, Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And he will be knocked down hard, but he will have the 1st down. A very solid gain of 27. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Caught here by Griffin. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Nice idea, nice concept there. Line him up on the left side of the formation. Let him sneak his way across. Coming back underneath. Put it in his hands. Let him get a few more yards after the catch, too.
Great way to utilize a tight end on the drag route. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Again, it's Watson. That complete to Lamar Miller. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make this a 2nd and long. Watson looks to throw again. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Third and long, it's Watson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. They will indeed snap it to Watson. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Olivier Vernon. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They begin with a run by Barkley. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Again, it's Barkley. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. Well, those Giant fans, you know that they love seeing Saquon Barkley wearing their jersey, but it's interesting. He actually grew up a Jets fan.
Yeah, I wonder what his dad was thinking. What would Big Al was thinking on draft night. Had to be so happy for his son, but they grew up watching Jets games. Just sit together, watch it. In fact, Dad has a Jets tattoo.
Yes.
Okay, so that tells you about how much he loves that team. You think Saquon's going to fix that and make it a Giants tattoo?
Yeah, he wants to make that a Giants tattoo. That family, though, they fully converted. They're supporting the G-men. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's a give to Barkley. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Here's Lawlessone now on second. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
This is 3rd and long. Here's Lawlessone. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off at the 23. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
After the interception, here's Watson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Olivier Vernon in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, 81 yards. And the Texans have cut it to within a score. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. New York set to take the field. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
The Giants on third down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Coming off play action, Lawletta. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
And here's a big one now. Try to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. From the gun, here's Lawletta. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And that is incomplete. The Giants go on 4th, but come up empty. And the Texans take over an excellent field position. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Throwing again is Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Eli Apple. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. second down. Here's Lawlessone. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Let's not quibble about the game there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
Here's Lawlessone. And able to find Decker. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. They'll run it again with Barkley. Shreds the tackle. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. A shotgun snap to Lawlessone. Right side, there's Decker. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 18 yards there and a first down. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. They'll go to Barkley again. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now, I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Now Saquon Barkley. And an alley to run. Touchdown, Giants. Saquon Barkley, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Giants are able to grow their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Santos out now. He'll kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A big-time play there for the Texans. 48 yards. Watson on first down. Now a desperation throw deep down. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing on third down, Watson. And incomplete here on third down.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he finds his man Griffin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a first down. Now a play fake here on first down. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Michael Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Giants, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints. The early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday. That's just what I say. I say, babe, it's. He said it's a. Them pretty. You look like Beyonce. Looking like money back, money back, money back. Money back, money back, money back. Yeah. Money back, money back, money back. Money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front. I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway. Looking like money back, money back, money back. Money back, money back, money back. Money back, money back, money back. Woo. Money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all. So don't be talking sideways. He said you look like this. He made sure he put Cardi down on his list. Now why this? When I look at my snap, I take your man and I won't give him back. I just walk into the booth and attack. I hit this guy in the roof will collapse. I've been broke my whole life. I have no clue what to do with these racks. They be late, waist snatch. Back, straight back. Got lips like Angelina. Belly truck tangerine. Jumping on my. That's why they call it trampoline. Come on, they so rock. This is sweet. Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a. He said it's a. You look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway, looking like money back, 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 woo, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all. So don't be talking sideways. Salty, they sodium, they jelly, petroleum. Always talking in the background, don't never come to the podium. Chef Cardi B, I'm up. I see you like the again. While you was sleeping on me, I made 40 bands by 4 p.m. Baby, take it. Everything you want, I'm like a walking. I don't understand what this hate is about. How you go, your man? With my name in your mouth, I do the Maybach on Monday, for rock Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a. He said it's a. Them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway, looking like money back, 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 woo, money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids, and they all gang, so don't be talking sideways, 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 sideways.